Well, we are back and we are Coach Talk. Good morning, LJ.
Good morning, everybody. I hope that wherever you are, this finds you really well and that your week is epic.
Do you know, today, once again, Melbourne has brought us a lot of sunshine and we are feeling fantastic.
How good is it to be in Victoria at the moment with our sunshine? Summer's here, people. Well, it is for this week anyway.
No, we caught up with some people from interstate over the last few days, and they were surprised that Melbourne weather was just as good as it is. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll take the credit for that, because when we put it on, we really put it on. So yeah.
100%.
So today we are once again unscripted and raw, and we just talk and have a bit of a yak. So we have a lot to say today based on what we have both been through in the last few days. But before we do that, there's a couple of things. There's a shout out to a couple of guys that we met. Was it 2 nights ago?
Yeah, it was 2 nights ago now.
2 nights ago. So we went to an event 2 nights ago, and it was epic. We had a massive party, and if you have a look on our Facebook page, you'll see that it was the White Party by Aaron Sansoni and team, which is absolutely amazing. And Aaron and his team are just next level. They're fantastic. So a big shout out and thank you to Aaron. But we met lots and lots of people, and two of the guys we met were Brendan and
Russell. How epic were the ladles?
Brendan and Russell. So we call them the ladles, and they love it. And it's, long story short, they're business partners, great guys, and they booked a hotel to stay, and
all the way from Perth.
So the hotel guys thought that they were partners, not business partners, and so just booked them into one bed. The poor guys, and it was quite a good story. So big ladle and little ladle, they seemed to fit in well together, so they made it work. But so yeah, we call them the ladles. They're great guys. We had a bit of a laugh, and a big shout out to them, especially when the big ladle, Brendan, decided to splatter me inadvertently with some
red
tomato
sauce everywhere
on my white suit, because it's a white party. But we got it all fixed, and soda water and a paper napkin is an amazing thing.
Do you know what? As much as we avoided wearing white for those exact reasons of kind of because white and I don't mix either. Yeah. We've met the most amazing people in the last couple of days, actually in the last month really, as we've dived into different bits and pieces that we're excited about for our business and the things that we're doing. And it's been fantastic to hear about everybody else in lots of different spaces coming together from all around the country and even international as well, which is really, really nice. And it feeds in, we've been talking about in the last couple of podcasts around who's in your circle. Yeah. You've got to step up your circle if you want to get ahead. Not to say that you have to leave an old circle, but you really do need to look at the people you're associating with, because you learn through osmosis, you learn through their excitement, through their experience. Everybody's got something that they can offer you no matter what level that they are at.
Yeah, it all ties in, doesn't it?
It does.
We've been talking about opening your eyes and increasing your awareness, taking off the blinkers. We've had that in our previous podcasts. And for us, it's interesting that we are now, it's a great word, immersed. We are immersed in a new circle of people that are teaching us a lot about ourselves, about our business, and there's an underlying question from the very beginning with this. And like people that we work with in our coaching space, we also are students, and we learn from other people, and we always will always be a student,
because great coaches get coached.
Absolutely. And the question that keeps coming up is, what do you want? I love that question. And even with us as coaches and doing what we do for our clients, we still get asked by people, what do you want? Which can be confronting, it can be exciting. And when you take the blinkers off and we talk about increasing your awareness, what do you want? And then from there, which is another thing we get coached on, which we like to pay forward to people, is give yourself permission to ...
Yeah, 100%. And I'm glad you brought up the pay it forward, because I would like to link our last podcast with today's epic session that we're going to do. Yeah. Last time we talked about, what is it, the way...
What is in the way
is the way. Yeah. Sorry, mental blank. And We had, over the last few days, we had a massive challenge, a collective of these people that we're talking about. We had a massive challenge to do some fundraising for an epic organisation, which is UNICEF Australia, or UNICEF International, I think they are.
Yeah.
And we were given 2 hours to see what we could do, and we were set certain targets that we would like to have achieved as a collective, and we smashed it out of the ballpark together.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to do a massive shout out to everybody in the Empire Circle, everybody who was involved in that, all the businesses that you reached out to who donated. It is truly amazing that when you set a high challenge, you can find the resourcefulness to come through and produce something amazing which changes lives, and do it with such humility and gratitude.
100%. We had probably over 200 people at an event we did live and online, and there was a challenge because they also promote paying it forward. So UNICEF came up, which is just a magnificent organisation. So the challenge was, you have 2 hours, make phone calls, get on social media, see if we can reach targets where we provide fresh drinking water to people in crisis. We provide education to children in crisis, and there were
hygiene packs and also food rations.
Yeah.
Really important food rations.
Absolutely. So the target was around about $85,000 to provide everything to everyone we needed, which is an interesting amount. So for people with a limiting belief, or people that $85,000, oh my goodness. Within about 15 minutes of the challenge starting off, we smashed it, and people were willingly, over phone calls and over social media, I am in, and it just built and built and built from there, to the point where the final figure was something like 217,000.
Yeah, 217,000. And then at the organisational end of year party that we were at, that you were telling us about, where we met the amazing ladles, we presented that cheque to the head of UNICEF.
Yeah, it was
a very emotional night.
Very much so, and congratulations and massive kudos to Aaron Sansoni and his team for having this insight to do this, and everybody else that took a step out. And we know people that felt uncomfortable reaching out to others to make a cold call or make a connection to say, this is a great cause, I have 2 hours to do this, what can you contribute? Because 100% of the funds go to UNICEF. It was just epic. It was amazing to see it unfold, and by the time it finished, it just, for me, it opened my eyes up a lot and thought, wow, there is so many amazing things in life you can do if you just give yourself permission and get started. It was a great exercise for me to see what people can achieve in a short amount of time.
Fantastic. And I love that we were both challenged with making some of those social media posts and cold calling. Yeah. But would you agree that when you actually thought about the common goal of helping people who were in need and who had it way tougher than we did, it was actually easier to overcome our barriers and to go, what's standing in your way is the way through?
Absolutely. What is in the way is the way. It's a lot easier when you've got a goal like this, where, and you and I are very high on the EQ scale, so we do think about people, we have empathy, we do think a lot about, we jump in their shoes and think about what is it like to be in this life in crisis in an area where you don't have a quality of life and nowhere near what you and I have in Australia.
Absolutely.
So, but the underlying thing was, you jump out of your own head. As soon as you jump out of your own head and you devote time and energy and you go at it, the results can be astounding. And we saw that firsthand, real life, in under 2 hours. The result was, it's a motivating result.
It is a completely motivating result, and also determined too. Yeah. Every one of us that was in that event was so determined to make a difference for people we hadn't even met. So my question to our amazing audience is, when was the last time you actually gave without wanting something back? you just thought of somebody else and you put yourself out there and said, you know what, I can give $5 for somebody else to have a cup of coffee. I can, donate to a charity, or I can give my time to something worthwhile that's so much bigger than me. You may not see the actual benefit yourself in your small tokenal effort at that point in time, but collectively, we have the power to do great things.
Absolutely.
For people we've never met.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you even meet them. It's the fact that what you do for them or for anybody else, you can celebrate that yourself, which we always talk about celebration. You can celebrate that yourself, and you know that you are positively impacting someone's life, and that is an amazing thing. We could talk
about this so much
for ages and ages. So,
but wasn't it really satisfying that when we got the tally in and to see that check, there wasn't really a dry eye in the room, because we as a collective knew how much that donation means, and it was so much bigger than who we are and what we are in our own little existence, because we get so caught up in our circle. Yeah, we all have bad days, but we are so lucky and so blessed here. So I'm going to encourage each and every one of you, especially because it is Christmas time. There's giving trees out there. There's charities who are supporting people who don't have what you and I have the ability. They don't have beds. They don't have blankets. Some of them don't have food, and some of them are in this country.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be a huge amount.
It doesn't have to be a huge amount, and it doesn't have to be a monetary amount either. No. We have had the privilege of meeting an amazing guy. I want to give a bit of a shout out to John. John is a fantastic volunteer. He has done this for many, many years. John, I hope you don't mind the shout out, but he volunteers his time to help people who are doing it tough in Dandenong, and he was showing me pictures. He was so super proud. He'd purchased all these beautiful Christmas bags from Coles, and he was filling it with food donations. Yeah. And he does this off his own bat, and he's there every Tuesday for the people that rely on him and his service, I guess. And he does it with such a giving, kind-hearted spirit, and he does it with such gratitude that he gets the ability to help somebody else.
He's an amazing man. We met John 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah,
3 years ago, I think.
And he devotes a lot of time to those that need. And he provides meals, he liaises with the local council, he does a lot of work for people that need a bit of a hand up, and he doesn't complain about it. He works hard. The only thing about John is he's got the worst dad jokes.
We love his dad jokes.
Oh, my goodness. Another story, but he's just a lovely man, and every time we see him, his eyes twinkle. He's got a good firm handshake, he's got a hug, he's got a smile on his face, and this is the theme of our podcast today, LJ, about talking about how do you give, and also developing the art of gratitude.
Yeah.
Which they tie in together. It's an interesting thing where if you, and I keep saying jump out of your own head, ignore sometimes what you are going through, because other people need you. Other people need your assistance that you may not realise. And the great thing about being grateful in your life, and I mentioned this to somebody I was talking to just recently, when you start being grateful for even the small things that people do for you or give you, it changes your whole perspective in your day.
And it's actually, I've heard that there's kind of two levels of gratitude. There's gratitude for like, oh, I'm really grateful that I got to do this. Whether it be I got to have breakfast, I got to go shopping, whatever. I don't know what people are grateful for. I have my own. I like to take it to, and I know you do as well, you take it away from the material things, and you really, from a heartfelt perspective, I'm so grateful that the sun came up today and I got to see it, and that my soul was able to reach out to somebody else and give them a hug, something that simple.
Yeah.
You take it to a different level. Don't just keep it on the surface, because if you're just playing on the surface, you're missing out.
How many times do we say when we talk, which is pretty much every day, that we play large?
We do play large.
And we encourage everybody else to do the the same thing. Play large. Are you playing it small in your life out there? And if you are, what are you playing it small for? Play large. Really step up and give it a good go, and give it a good crack, because when you play large, you grow out of it and other people see your light shine. And we talk a lot about you bring light and you're shining and all of that. I love that concept of just playing large.
Playing large.
Yeah.
And we were mentioning this when we were putting together our sessions for today. There's no I in sun, there's no I in stars, there's no I in moon.
Yeah.
Everything that is beautiful in the universe that we appreciate has no I in it. So it's actually not about you. It's more about the world around you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. This song in our last podcast, when we did talk about what is in the way is the way, you recommended the song at the end of the podcast.
Yep, I go through by all.
I go through by all. So you sent it to me.
Yep.
And this was only about 10, 15 minutes after we finished our podcast. Mm-hmm. And I cranked it up in my kitchen and I played it through. It was fantastic. I loved it to the point where I contacted you and said, this is such a good song. We might even use this in some of our workshops and some of our events where we're working with multiple clients. I loved it. So out there, if you have not heard this song yet, I go through by all. It's motivational. It's powerful. It packs a punch. And if you're not doing a happy dance in your kitchen, then you need to change a few things in your life and get into it. Because thanks, LJ. That recommendation was just... And then you send me a lot of songs. You send me songs all the time. Have a listen to this and have a listen to that. And I send ones back to you, and which is fantastic. And I Go Through was one of the ones that I thought, this is a really great song to get you going in your day. Walk out of your door, head held high, shoulders back, and you walk through your gate or out onto the footpath and you just go, I've got this.
Yeah. Everyone's got the opportunity to take charge in their own world and make the choice of what your experience is going to be. So I'm glad you enjoyed the song. I've got another one for everybody today, if that's okay, because we're talking about gratitude and things bigger than ourselves. It's a song by Thomas Rhett. I love music. It resonates my day. It keeps me in my happy bubble, which I'm very blissful about. Yeah. It's a song, it's probably a little bit of a quieter song, but the message in the song is really beautiful and ties into what we've been talking about, being giving and gratitude. It's a song by Thomas Rhett called Be a Light.
Okay.
So I will try and put the link up on the website for everybody. But it's not a song to get you up, it's a reflection song. And hopefully there's something in it for you that when you listen to it, you can work out how you actually are making a difference, how are you showing up, and how are you actually thinking bigger than just your normal your circle for you. Think outside yourself.
Absolutely. It's amazing when, I'll reframe this, do people know that they are being watched, admired, and looked at by others when they are not aware that they're being watched and admired and looked at? So when you show up and when you step up and you give in any shape or form, even just holding a door open for somebody, or if you're walking past somebody in the workspace and I'm grabbing a cup of coffee, would you like one?
Or smiling at someone and saying hello.
100%. How many times do we go to a coffee shop and here comes the coffee stories again? We love our coffee. We just smile at people behind the counter and it lights them up based on a smile.
It's a funny story. I was in the city yesterday and I had a meeting in the city which was epic. I was in an elevator with a gentleman and I said to him, "Hi, how's your day going?" And he literally did a massive big double take and then looked around like, "Are you talking to me?" He goes, "Are you talking to me?" I said, "I am. How's your day going?" And we had the most incredible conversation in the elevator whilst we were going up the 26 floors.
Yeah. You're stepping up. And you're showing up, and elevators are a good thing. I had a lady a year or two ago now. I was in an elevator in the city, and I was going up to the top 20-something floor and having a meeting, and this lovely lady jumped in, and she was frantic. She was panicking and just beside herself with things that are going on in her head. She had meetings to go to, and typical me, I just sort of turned and said, "Are you having a good day today?" And I'm not. I'm having a bad day. I can't find my PA. She's at one end of the building. I'm at the other, and we keep crossing over, and I need her now because we have this meeting to go to. I just don't know where to find her. I keep calling her, and she can't find her way, blah, 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 blah. So I thought, well, life is all about strategy. Life is about planning, looking outside the square. I said, okay, so I'm going to solve your problem in the space of about 10 seconds. And if I solve your problem, you're going to give me a hug, which is a fairly decent break state. So I was either going to get a punch in the face or a hug, one of those things. So she said, done. And she was lovely. So, okay, what we're going to do is on the 6th floor is a cafe, a coffee shop. Go to the coffee shop. You've got 15 minutes before your meeting. Go to the coffee shop. Order yourself your favourite coffee. Here we go with coffee again.
Yeah.
Sit down. When your coffee is there, text your PA. I've got coffee on the go. I'm at this cafe. What do you want? See you here in 5 minutes. And she goes, I can't believe it. I said, it's that easy. So you got the coffees ready. You can walk into your meeting together after you've had your coffee and your day's done. And she said, oh, that's a great idea. So she hit the 6th button for the 6th floor. And I said, she's walking. I said, hey, come back. Where's my hug? So I got a hug. It was really nice. And so she lit up. She was okay. And her day was so much better just because. And that's a form of giving. I didn't have to give her anything, no time or no money. I gave her energy, which is a great thing. And that's what I'm trying to impart to people is you can give. It doesn't have to be on a monetary side of life.
Does not have to be.
You can give in so many ways. And so I'm hoping, and I'm sure that her day would have improved from there.
Yeah.
She caught up with her PA. They went to the meeting and their day just went on from there.
Yeah.
That's the way of giving. But the gratitude side is also the same thing. Like we've been elevators where people have let us out of the elevator first. And the gratitude, thank you so much. These days, and correct me if I'm wrong, my opinion, and of course the opinions and beliefs expressed by Dave may not be the same as LJ. do you like that?
I do.
My opinion is we are losing the art of communication at the moment, and it could be a generational thing. It might just be our world is busy. It could be anything, but having that art of communication and gratitude, it is diminishing somewhat. I think so in Australia, based on how I was brought up and how you were brought up and our belief systems and what our parents did for us. I've let people go through doorways or elevators and things, and they've just walked off and gone into their world and done their thing. So when you actually say, thank you so much, sometimes people get a bit startled by it and like, oh, you're welcome. Other people really appreciate it because you've acknowledged them just for a very small effort.
Yeah. And I think that might be one of the challenges, or actually two challenges this week. So if you have the ability to give, whether it be time, whether it be a toy, whether it be an item of clothing, donate to a charity, think of someone bigger than yourself, think of someone outside your family. Quite often there's some amazing people that I am aware of that instead of buying Christmas presents for each other, they actually put the money into a hat and then they put a charity's name into a hat and somebody draws out the charity that money's going to go to because there's nothing that they needed. So I want to challenge every one of us to actually think that way, especially at this Christmas. I'd also love to challenge, if somebody does do something nice for you, please acknowledge it. Please turn around and say thank you, because from a receiving perspective, it's really nice that we actually make the time to acknowledge that as a gratitude.
Yeah. Question for you, LJ.
Yep.
How did you know they were going to be the two challenges I was going to suggest today? Run me through that.
Because we're just so in sync.
Wow, that was exactly what I was going to suggest at the same time. So there you go. So gratitude and also the act of giving, I think, is an important subject today. What do you think?
Absolutely. I love that we're talking about this after being involved with such a beautiful act.
Yeah. We've had some great conversations. We've met some wonderful people this week.
Definitely.
And the podcast today, it's a bit close to my heart, and I'm sure it is with yours as well.
Yes.
So please, out there, reach out to us. Come and say good day. Send us an email on the website, which is
coachtalk.com.au, or you can reach out on Facebook. You can send us a message in YouTube or any of the other platforms.
We would love to hear from you. We get the best feedback, and we're loving hearing from everyone out there that wants to say good day. So please keep it up. And I wish you, LJ, an epic week.
You too, Dave. And to everybody else who's listening, have a fantastic week. And practice gratitude. Practice saying hello, and don't forget to give.
Great one. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
See you. Bye.